Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's the 26th of December, Boxing Day 2025. I'm back at Whitchurch, the Llangollen Canal, where the breach happened a few days ago. Right, we're going over and have a look. Much better access today compared to the other day. You can get a lot closer. Where you actually see me flying from now is where I've managed to be stood, so yeah, you can get a full scale, say unfortunately how sort of deep this one is in. Now I'll get on over and look. This way. Now, pacemaker that was sort of teetering on the edge has been pulled forward, as you can see, up into there. Get higher and go and look the other way. You can see all the pipes there that are pumping the water around. Looks like there is eroding away quite fast, because it was hovering right over that. Now, from what I see, I believe they're going to try and put a porter dam at across here, so they can refill this section and get this boat out that way. Now, of course, this way is where they are refilling. It's looking like it's going quite well. Let's see where we can. You can see the water being pumped in. The levels look quite high. So it looks like that's going well. So I'm having to continue with voiceover in this from home. Just so many people looking around and asking questions, it just becomes near impossible to carry on with commentary, which is fine, because at the end of the day it's viewers and people watching that gets me to where I am. So happy to talk to anyone who comes along. You can see, you can just see how stuck in these two boats are. Now, I did talk to two people from the Canal and River Trust towards the end when I was filming this. One who was a drone flyer, so he was showing quite a lot of interest, and they have talked about, well, I say we talked about how these 2 boats will be removed, and the plan is at the moment, because a lot of people said that they'll possibly just be cut up and removed that way, because it would be purely easier. That's not the plan at the moment. Also, it's not the plan to have cranes and lift them out, because the actual cost involved and the size of the cranes needed and where they need to be. If you look where the breach was and the field that's now sort of underwater to the left of this picture, that's where they would have to lift them out to, and then getting them out of there once again is not straightforward. So they need to pad the field and etc., and then even then the access out. So because it's like, if that's a 70-foot long boat, that's not a simple thing to remove. So at the moment the plan will be to actually drag them up and along the canal bed, a bit like, almost like they've done with the pacemaker, and get them out that way. Is a lot simpler option than trying to lift them. So they'd have to like come up at a 45-degree angle up. They'd smooth the slope basically, and then winch them up and out. Whether that's both towards where pacemaker is or the other way remains to be seen. Like, yet again, they said it's Sefton, the one where the canal side's gone over the top. That one could be dragged out into the field, but then yet again, it's where it goes after that, where the other ones would be more difficult. Get a bit better look of the field that's flooded. We talked about the suction that these been on the bed of the canal. So, especially the front one is the main concern, because that's took on a lot of silt, mud. Weight wise, I said it could be dramatically different than normal. And I think later on I'll do a close-up fly along. I'll talk more about how much has gone inside then. I think you can see a bit more, but obviously with it you can see with the being mud up that high, it obviously has gone inside. Sorry if there's bits of long pauses of just hovering on one area. That'd be when I was talking to people. There you can see, the fields that side. You can see the stream where there was culvert was 2. There you can see drop down, and you can sort of see the height of the embankment. Indeed, how far down that boat has actually gone. And it being well and truly sunk in. It almost looks like that end door is open. I imagine they're not, wouldn't have been that watertight, or it could have indeed if it was glass, broken the glass. So I would have to presume that where you can see that level of silt is that's where its level is inside that boat. See there, you can see though what, you know, what a drop it actually took. I imagine it were quite terrifying when that one went. You see how much water is holding in that field. Now they were saying obviously what everyone suspects, the little culvert that was underneath is well and truly collapsed and gone. There is still one larger one that's intact and working. So I've cut out a bit of footage where I was showing people the bypass. You can see that looks like, I think that's lights, and you can see all the pumps. And say there is people from the Canal and River Trust here working, manning this, and was, I do believe, was yesterday as well. But you can access most of this now. There's the pipes that are pumping the water back into this side. Apparently they've got to keep the feed of water going, because it does feed reservoir, and so ultimately if this was dry it would start to affect the fresh water supplies. There you can see a bit of a close up of where it's once again where it's pumping in. So level wise it doesn't look to be too far away. I said this 2 or 3 days ago obviously was basically bone dry. Right, just had a quick battery swap. They do say it was actually frosty, and drone batteries do not like the cold, so they wear out quite a bit faster than normal. I'd say 20-25 minutes is the sort of norm in this weather, whereas in the summer I probably can do 40 minutes easily. So as you can see, you can walk along this bit now. There is someone from the River Trust there, but the footpaths are open. I imagine there is lots of places where there's barriers and tape up. It's taken down at the moment. I imagine when they're working it'll go back up. You can just see a shot of the now filled canal again. Basically the immediate aim was to get water back in this side, so these boats were floating and can move again if they need to. So obviously these two, it's going to be a much longer process. So I'm going to get down low now and try and do a sort of low pass along here. So I'm actually walking as I'm doing this, and walked along to the sort of top, sort of up near enough where the pacemaker is, so I can see along here to fly the drone. Sorry about the sunlight facing. So hopefully this one, apart from where that metal sidings is against the boat, it's hoped it's pretty much damage free. And not too much sort of silt etc's got in. Now obviously this second one is looking quite a different story, as you can see. It's clearly well over, or was well over, enough for that metal sidings to be on the top. Yeah, but they're still hoping they can drag this out without no sort of too much damage, where they can then get it out and float it down to a place where it's easier to lift out. It is access here that's the problem, and the cost involved. I said the cost involved for the large cranes, the area of where they would have to reinforce to get the cranes in, and then obviously the cranes, the boat, and the transport for the boats out doesn't warrant it for two boats. So obviously they want to save the boats, but at the end of the day it's still got to be an effective way. Let's say the words were, boats can be replaced, though it is people's homes. So now, like this area here, like I say, at Bridgewater, the water remains in the field. Say we're near enough a year on. It happened on the 1st of January, so this time next week it is a year to when it happened. Let's say at the Bridgewater, it's the opposite side to the actual breach that has remained, where the culverts collapsed. The field has remained flooded. Where the breach side, there's plenty of places for it to flow away. Where here at the moment, it's just going to sit. So more or less to say, I'm coming to the end of the video. Thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed and shared. Brilliant response, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider it. It's free, really helps the channel grow. And I'm going to come back on the 29th, on my way back from visiting family. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.